Welcome to Believers Talk. My name is Joe, and welcome to a live edition of Believers Talk where we're going to talk about the 2019 OTAs just getting underway, about a week into OTAs, and we have learned some things already. If you've followed the channel before, you know that we've talked about the injury report from yesterday, some injuries on that front. We talked about some of the draft picks, how they're doing currently in OTAs, and there's news about the tight end position still, guys. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about all that and more. Whatever your questions, whatever you guys want to talk about, we're going to talk about that right here on Believers Talk. Anthony, welcome to Believers Talk. Nomos, welcome to Believers Talk again. Thank you guys for joining me. If you are new to this channel, I'm going to remind you throughout the day or throughout the live chat that if you are new, remember to hit that subscribe button, like this video, leave a comment. I'll happily read your comments. Just remember, I'm one guy, okay? So if I don't get to your comment, maybe leave it again. If it's something you want to talk about, we'll gladly get to it when I can. Also, if you guys don't mind some sinus issues or some maybe a cold, I have no idea what it is. So you're going to have plenty of that going on. LFG, no. I'll show it. I don't care. How, Maestro? How you doing? We have plenty of tight ends. Yes, I understand that. But if you looked at the news today, we were in the running for one of the tight ends. Jordan Leggett. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, but Jordan Leggett, we were in the running to get him from free agency. So obviously, we're still looking at tight ends now. Whether that has something to do with the Tyler Kroft news, or if that's something else that we need, then we'll have to find out. I like Dawson Knox too. But here's the thing, Dawson Knox still has not signed his rookie contract. Now, I'm not saying that we have anything to worry about. I don't think we do. Third round draft pick, 96th overall. There's not much going on there, but he's the only one that hasn't signed yet. So we'll see what happens. As soon as something good happens, something bad happens. Again, maybe we're getting the injuries out of the way early, right? I mean that would be okay. This is not the worst time to have the injury bug. Again, I know Kroft's going to be missing. They said 3 to 4 months now. So you're talking about June, July, possibly beginning of August, beginning of preseason. He's going to be out. So would he be ready come week one? I know our buddies over at Hashtag Sports, they talked about that for a little bit, wondering if he will be ready for week one if he comes back in August. So what does that mean for the tight end room? So we'll wait and see what happens. But again, Adam Schefter reported that we were one of the teams that was interested in Leggett, tight end formerly from the Jets, Jordan Leggett. So we'll see. Welcome, Dan Martinez. And you're talking about Lee Smith. I think he's better too, but again, if you're looking at the news from Adam Schefter earlier, talking about another tight end in the free agency market that the Bills were interested in, we're not stopping here, and that's okay. It's okay to not stop somewhere and continue to get depth in a position, and some Bills fans are talking about Kyle Rudolph, and why not? Obviously, there's a trade market for Kyle Rudolph. Would the Bills be willing to trade for Kyle Rudolph and get ourselves that for sure number one tight end that right now we're currently missing? I mean, Tyler Kroft was set to be our number one tight end. We're going to talk about some of the number ones as far as OTAs. Who was on the first string offensive line during OTAs? We'll see who was on the second line. Some names might surprise you. Now, we know Mitch Morse wasn't going to be there because of his injury, but some of these names might surprise you as far as who was on the first line, who was on the second line. We'll talk about the rookies. We'll talk about Ed Oliver. We'll talk about Cody Ford. We'll talk about Devin Singletary, all showing up at OTAs. So we'll talk about those. Tugging issues right now is just down there, but they have to be talked about. They have to be talked about. Again, you're talking about Tyler Kroft. This is his second leg or foot injury in 2 years. So you wonder if it will ever fully heal, right? You just don't know. Surgeries. Now, when you're talking about precautionary surgeries, you are talking probably Cole Beasley and Mitch Morse, more precautionary. Now, Mitch Morse kind of a big deal because you want to get that chemistry between Josh Allen and Mitch Morse. Mitch Morse and the rest of that offensive line. So it does matter. Cole Beasley, I'm more okay with. I don't think the Cole Beasley one matters as much. You want to get that chemistry, but you have plenty of time still to do that. Yeah, same foot even for Tyler Kroft. So Tyler Kroft, normally this injury wouldn't bug me so much, but it's the same foot, same type of injury, having surgery 2 years in a row. Will it ever fully heal? or will it always be a nagging issue? If it's always a nagging issue, do you want to get rid of that now? And, because again, a lot of these deals are team friendly, right? So is this something that we want to take care of now and say, sorry, not the type of guy we're looking for? Bring in a Kyle Rudolph, who has more experience at the tight end spot, is more of a receiving threat than Tyler Kroft, and maybe it's time for a little more money, but that's okay if we get that veteran leadership in there. I mean, we're getting mixed, just from the fans over here. And again, thank you for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. Again, please excuse my cold or my sinuses or whatever they are. Trying to get through that one, to get on here, go live for some updates about week 1. If you have been following the channel, I did two videos yesterday. One on Jerry Hughes getting his extension. So let me know what you think about the Jerry Hughes extension in the comment section. And then another one on the injuries. We have 5 injuries, and as one of my commenters, I think it was Dan Martinez, said, most likely precautionary, right? But when you talk about Tyler Kroft, when you talk about Mitch Morse, those are 2 big ones. Those are 2 big ones that should worry you. King Cam, how you doing? Welcome to Believers Talk. Always glad to see you. What's going on? It's 8:42 on the East Coast. So again, if you haven't subscribed to Believers Talk, please hit that subscribe button. Like this video. Let me know what you want to talk about, and we'll happily talk about Jason Kroom, someone who's kind of getting underutilized, underlooked, I think. Personally, Jason Kroom, even in OTAs, was with the 2s, even with the injuries. So very fascinating to see that. Let's talk about OTAs today and this week. Let's talk about some of the things that kind of might stick out to Bills fans. For example, the offensive line. So I read an article by Joe Buscaglia. I'm sure I'm going to mess up that name, so I apologize. But I'm following him on Twitter. If you don't follow him on Twitter, you should definitely do that. Just talk about some of the things that he witnessed at OTAs. We're going to talk about them as well. So first we want to talk about the offensive line, right? What does the offensive line look like? Well, so far in OTAs, the starting 5 have been the same. Now again, Mitch Morse hasn't been one of them because of his injury, because of his surgery, but he, we have someone filling in at center, and it might be a surprise to some of you. Now, Bodine has not been able to play either, so both Morse and Bodine down, who's our center? So our first line is left tackle Deion Dawkins. We know Deion Dawkins is probably going to start at left tackle at this point. At least all indications are showing that the Buffalo Bills coach McDermott are going to give him every chance to stay at left tackle. Left guard was Spencer Long, who we just signed in free agency this season. Our center was Joe Feliciano, who again, we just signed free agency. This shows a little flexibility as far as where you can play on the offensive line, right? Normally at the guard position, now showing up at center. This might go a long way as far as who makes that 53-man roster. You see John Feliciano coming in at center. Then right guard, Quentin Spain, and then right tackle Nseki. So that is our current starting offensive line. Now, I know what a lot of you might be thinking, where is that 2nd round draft pick, right? Where is Cody Ford? And he's been on the 2nd line. And as was said in the article, and is something that we know for most rookies for the Buffalo Bills the past 3 seasons under Coach McDermott, you have to earn your time. You have to earn your time. We saw Matt Milano almost took to week 8, week 9 before you saw him repetitively on the field. People like that, it takes a little while to get them on the field. So he's going to have to earn his time. Same thing with Ed Oliver. Ed Oliver's been with the 2s, not with the 1s. Now we all expect by season start, these guys are going to be with the 1s. But it kind of shows you that Coach McDermott, Leslie Frazier, Brian Dable, they're not just going to hand it to you. You have to earn it. So I like that a lot. I think that's a very good message to be sending to the team. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But yeah, so our starting O-line was Dawkins, Spencer Long, Feliciano at center. Right guard was Quentin Spain, and then right tackle is Nseki. Our 2nd string offensive line was Waddle at left tackle, Wyatt Teller at left guard, Ike Botker at center, Jeremiah Searles at right guard, and then Cody Ford at right tackle. So those are our first and 2nd string offensive line so far in OTAs. Again, it's been consistently the same. So what does that mean heading into the 2nd week of OTAs, and of course heading into camp, as that's just around the corner? Again, thank you guys for joining me on Believers Talk. My name is Joe. In the comment section, in the description below, you have a link to my Twitter page. You also have a link to my Amazon affiliate account. Right now I'm linking a set of 10 Buffalo Bills cards. I think it was like $6 on Amazon. Click on the link if you're interested. You're talking about Josh Allen, Robert Foster, LaShawn McCoy from the 2018 Topps box set. So click on that link, buy yourself that box set before the 2019 season begins. Anthony, welcome to Believe Talk. Always good to see you in here. I like that method too. It makes the rookies want to work hard. Absolutely. That is what was the starting lines? I'm sorry. Maestro Sean, what do you mean? What was the starting lines? A feign? I don't. Maybe that's something I don't understand. I've seen you in some of the Buffalo Bills Twitter live streams, Joe. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I go on there too. I try to stay with and guys, I know there are a lot of Bills channels out there. I like a lot of the Bills channels. You know, you talk about hashtag sports. Love the guys over at hashtag sports. Talking about Fox 87. He's a huge fan of the channel. I'm a huge fan of his. You're talking about Buffalo Fanatics. You're talking about a lot. Bills News Consolidated is one that I just saw too, and you know I'm liking that. I like that guy's energy that he brings. So you know there's a lot of them that I like. So if you have other ones that you like, or if you want me to recommend you to more Bills content, let me know. I'll happily do that because they all have good content. So again, thank you for joining my Believe Stock. Hit that subscribe button, like this video. How does the wide receivers look? So wide receivers, that's something else we need to talk about. Robert Foster starting off at the 2. Zay Jones starting off at the 1. So I know a lot of Bills fans, myself included, don't see Zay Jones as a number 1 wide receiver. Who's our number 1 though? You talking about John Brown maybe? Maybe. He started off as number 1 with Baltimore last season, but Zay Jones is lining up as our star. What's up, UCFJ? Wow, how you doing? Good to see you. Thanks for the new setup. I like it too. Wife got me these for Christmas. We're currently renovating our basement. As soon as that's done, there's going to be a whole new setup. So I look forward to showing you guys all that. Probably won't be done until the regular season starts. I'm hoping to have it done before week 1. So that way when I live stream every single Buffalo Bills game, doing the live play and reaction, hopefully it'll be downstairs in my basement with a whole new setup. Again, look forward to that. But thank you for joining me, UCF. Always good to see you. I love Josh Allen. I think he's going to have a big year. I actually am going to do a video sometime this offseason comparing the 3 second-year quarterbacks that are now in our division. You can talk about Tom Brady, of course, but now you have Josh Allen, Josh Rosen with the Dolphins, and, of course, Sam Darnold with the New York, New Jersey Jets. I think Foster will be our wide receiver 1. It really is a guess at this point. I think right now they have Zay Jones lining up as the number 1. They say that Zay Jones has bulked up a little bit. But we'll wait to see. Obviously, I have not gone to OTA, so I'm not sure what he looks like right now. But we'll wait and see. Obviously, they're going to mix and match things. They might have John Brown on the outside, Zay Jones on the other side, Cole Beasley that on the inside. And with the injuries of Cole Beasley, it kind of makes things a little bit harder, too, to guess what is going to happen. I'm sure these coaches are going to make sure they test everything out that they feel they need to. Excuse me. Who is the slot receiver? Right now, it'd be Cole Beasley since he's been down. I think they've been having Roberts in as the slot, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Maybe McKenzie even as at the slot, but I mean, it's going to be Cole Beasley. You know what? Josh Allen to sack Josh Allen. Well, he has the opportunity. I mean, there was a minute in the draft there where we thought we might get Josh Allen in the NFL draft, and so you're talking about Josh Allen playing on the same team. You guys get a steal at 7, though. That was quite a steal. Now, I don't think we played Jacksonville this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, UCF. I don't think we play them maybe in the playoffs, right? If we see it again. But I don't think other than that we play you guys in the regular season. I'm trying to think who we play. I don't think we play you guys. We play the AFC North, and then we play the third place teams in both the South, which would be the Titans, and the West, which would be the Broncos, I believe. So someone might check me out. Duke Williams, David Sills. A lot of good things. We're hearing a lot of good things from David Sills. I'm not hearing much from Duke Williams. David Sills is impressing at the first week of OTA. So that's something, again, to look at. You know, we thought we had a steal there when we got him in undrafted free agency. It looks like it's turning out that way. David Sills is definitely a guy that I liked. Again, I had him projected in the 5th round, going to the Bills at that point in my 7th round mock. but we get him anyway in undrafted free agency, and we'll see if Duke Williams even has a spot on this team. I know a lot of Bills fans, and some have commented on this channel. They want me to do a video on Duke Williams, and I'll do it. I'll do it because you guys want it. So you'll be looking for that in the future. But I just don't know if he has what it takes to make this team. Whereas Brown start right now, like I said, Brown is starting at number 2 as on the second string as the number 2 guy. He was number 1 a lot in Baltimore, right? So he started out number 1. Him and Joe Flacco had a good connection. So let's see if Josh Allen can steal some of that magic and make John Brown possibly number 1. But again, who is going to be the number 1? Hey, angry Buffalo sports fan, welcome to Believers Talk. Yeah, we played Titans from your division, right? Is Zay Jones playing the outside? Yes, he is playing the outside during OTAs. He is listed as the number 1 receiver so far. Hey, MFF Gaming, welcome to Believers Talk. We do cover the Sabres as well. We just had a video talking about new head coach being brought in from the Premier League, I believe it was, but he has had some soccer ties, so you want to check out that video. Thank you for joining me again. If you are new, hit that subscribe button, like this video. I'm trying to get to all your comments as fast as I can, guys, so bring them in. If I missed your comments, just leave it again, and I'll happily get to it. Anthony, welcome. Zay Jones has packed on some weight. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They're saying he's packed on some pounds. He looks stronger. He looks bigger. And that could only improve his game. Again, you're talking about a guy who in East Carolina, I think that's college one too, he had over 160 catches one season, 140 catches in one season. You don't forget how to catch a ball, right? As long as the ball's here, you can catch it. Put on some weight, get strong, get buffed up, and earn that number 1 spot. You know, everyone's talking about how the third year for Zay Jones might be the year he finally gets it together. That's great. We're all hoping for that, but he has to put it together. I want to see improvement. We saw improvement towards the end of last season. You're talking about, I think it was 7 touchdown catches in the last 6 games or something like that. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't have his stats in front of me. But a lot of touchdowns came of his touchdowns. I think all but one of his touchdowns came in the second half of the season, especially when Josh Allen came back from injury. Talk about the running back depth chart. I'll happily get into that. We talked about the offensive line right now. We talked about the running back depth chart at OTAs. Currently, LaShawn McCoy still says number 1, but Devin Singletary, again, just like Ed Oliver, just like Cody Ford, has to earn his time. Now, Devin Singletary has been helped by the unfortunate injuries of TJ Yeldon and of Frank Gore. Frank Gore out with a groin injury. TJ Yeldon out. No, I'm sorry. Frank Gore out with a groin injury. TJ Yeldon, I think, is out with a leg injury. I might have that reversed as well. But they're both sitting out, right? So McCoy's taking primarily the first string snaps, but then Devin Singletary is taking the next snaps as the number 2 guy. But again, a lot of that might be due to injury. We're not sure where he would sit if those 2 guys weren't injured. But you still see the coaching staff making sure these rookies earn their time and don't just hand them that number 1 spot on the depth chart. So Devin Singletary right now working a lot with the 2s. LaShawn McCoy still looking like the main guy with the 1s. So that's talking about the running back depth chart a little bit. But again, that suffered a little bit because both of TJ Yeldon and Frank Gore being hurt. So, UCF, like I said on Twitter, man, I told you, next we're going to go after every running back you guys have. That's all there is to it. We're just going after until we find one that fits. I did like what Chris Ivory did for us. I mean, I remember when we first signed Chris Ivory, I said, what did you think? Because the Jaguars had a choice. They could either keep Yeldon or Ivory, right? And you can correct me if I'm wrong. But they were going to re-sign one and not re-sign the other. And they chose to re-sign TJ Yeldon. Got rid of Chris Ivory. We then signed Chris Ivory. I came to you and said, hey, what do you think? And you actually said you liked him. One of your biggest concerns was he fumbled a lot, right? His turnover concerned you. And he didn't have a single fumble for the Buffalo Bills this past season. The only time he turned the ball over was preseason week 1. He had a pass thrown to him by Nathan Peterman that was catchable. He tipped it up from there, was intercepted by a linebacker for you. We were playing. But that was the only time where I was like, oh, man, you should have caught there. Oh, man, that led to a turnover. That should not have happened. You should have one more. Josh Allen threw a bad pass. Yes, he should have had another one, but he didn't. The only one that was in the first 8 weeks of the season was the one at Houston, the one that Nathan Peterman hit right after Josh Allen went out. That was the only touchdown he had the first 8 weeks of the season. Second 8 weeks of the season, he lit it up. That Miami game last week of the season, I think he had 2 touchdowns in that one, if I'm not mistaken. So doing pretty good. Yeah, TJ Yeldon, he seems like it'd be, especially coming out of backfield. Everyone's talking about how he catches the ball out of the backfield. So that's what I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit more of. Maybe use McCoy just for running. But then you don't want to, like my fear is you throw TJ Yeldon in there, offenses or defenses are going to know, okay, if they use TJ Yeldon, it's just going to be to pass the ball. They're not running it here, and vice versa. So he was a really bad he was a bad influence on Fournette. The last thing we need in the running back room is a bad influence. LaShawn McCoy can be a hothead himself, so hopefully he doesn't do anything to distract Devin Singletary. We have a rookie too. We have a young guy in there that we don't need someone making a bad influence for. So the second thing that I wanted to get to about OTAs is our cornerbacks. Okay, we talked a little about running backs. I'm happy to do that as someone commented. I am interested in Kruger too. I saw that MFF Gaming. I'm very interested to see how it does. I'm a little skeptical just because I am a Buffalo sports fan, but I am interested to see how he does next season. Everyone I talked to, I think even John Patrick, I don't think he's in the room right now, but a fan of the show, he did talk about how he's good with young talent. So we'll see what happens. So, but the next thing, what's the status on Christian Wade? To be honest, I haven't heard anything from Christian Wade. I'm going to look him up right now to see if he is at OTA. I mean, I haven't heard anything about Christian Wade. So let me look him up right now. Oh, this is the okay. I know who you're talking about. I still haven't heard anything about him, but he could be on a futures contract. Yeah. So I haven't heard a single thing about Christian Wade at OTAs. So unfortunately, I cannot update you on that. But we'll wait to see if we hear anything. Well, Leonard Fournette just was in a bad situation in the whole Buffalo fight, right? I feel like Leonard Fournette was in the wrong place at the wrong time. He came off the sideline though, I believe. He wasn't even on the play when it happened. So we'll see what happened. He's not very focused. Well, and there's no guarantee that Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane are going to keep him. I mean, if you look at our running back room right now, you talk about McCoy, you talk about Gore, and maybe Gore's gonna slap him upside the back of the head. If there's one focused running back in the NFL, it's definitely gonna be Frank Gore. Who's gonna be more focused than that guy? I remember, excuse me, I was listening to Golick and Wingo. It's not Mike and Mike. Golick and Wingo, and Golick's son said that Frank Gore is just one of those guys who's going to break the rushing record 4 yards at a time. Because right now, I believe he's in the top 10 as far as rushing yards go. And he's just he's going to break it, stay in the league till he's 42 and just get 4 yards per carry. So, do I agree the Sabres should trade Ristolainen, or should we keep him? I think we should keep him. I think we should keep him. I think that, if we get rid of our coach, which we already did, of course, you don't want to start getting rid of all these players too, because then you have a whole new team. You're either going to blame the coach or blame the players, or are you going to blame both? I don't think we should blame both. I think we should keep Ristolainen and see. We talk about how Kruger is good with young talent. Let's see what he can do with them. Let's see if he can turn them into a better product on the ice. Now I know he cost us some games last season, but we should probably keep him for at least another year and see what happens. But that was the next thing I want to talk about was the cornerback position. Levi Wallace has started at the number 2 position for the cornerbacks. So that to me is interesting. Levi Wallace came on strong at the end of last season. Remember, Levi Wallace did not even make the original 53-man roster at the beginning of last season. He was sent down to the practice squad due to a bunch of injuries, due to an idiot retiring at halftime. A player retiring at halftime, sorry. Levi Wallace gets brought up from the practice squad, impresses a lot of people, including myself, played really well. But you also look at that depth chart at cornerback. We have some really good players on that depth chart. You talk about Teron Johnson. Teron Johnson played really well last year when he was not hurt. But the thing of it is, he played most of the year hurt, which is awesome that he has that kind of commitment to the team and he wants to play. He's still trying to play. And then you talk about Kevin Johnson, we just signed in free agency, originally from Houston. They said that during OTAs he was lighting a fire under some players. He was talking a lot of trash. And, sometimes that's good to see. Sometimes it's good to see a player kind of lighting a fire under other players, right? Whether it be on offense, whether it be on defense. We heard that Ed Oliver got into it a little bit with one of the Buffalo Bills offensive linemen during OTAs. Sometimes that's good to see. Now, you don't want to see people fighting, right? You never want to see them fighting on the field. It happens every year. We're going to see one team, two teams, where guys just go after each other. Why are you hitting each other with full fists when you have helmets on? Why are you doing that? What is your problem? Seriously, you're going to just break your hand and be out and hurt the team even more. Now, if you're mad at each other, you push each other a little bit, hey, that's fine. In that heat, sometimes your emotions get the better of you. I get that. But don't be throwing punches. All right, that's all I'm worried about. Phil Housley just struggled to make adjustments. Oh, yeah, no, I agree with you, Anthony. I absolutely agree with you on that. But so our cornerbacks are looking good. We all know what it is with White on the one side. I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought, guys. Again, you have to excuse me with this cold and everything, but I'm trying to get through this. Now, the third thing I want to talk about was the defensive end position. There's been a little bit of a change at the defensive end position. Obviously, we just re-signed Jerry Hughes, so we have a little more comfortability with what's going on beyond this year, right? We knew that both Jerry Hughes and Shaq Lawson were going to be free agents at the end of the season. However, we re-sign or extend Jerry Hughes for 2 more seasons, so we have a little less to worry about there. Now, Jerry Hughes, last season, a lot of time, Jerry Hughes was on the other side of Shaq Lawson. Well, now they're actually moving Shaq Lawson to be more of a depth rotational player. And when Jerry Hughes lines up with the left tackle, then behind him it's going to be Shaq Lawson. They've changed where Eddie Yarborough is now going to line up at the right tackle position. Yarborough was a lot more effective work from the left side of the defense in 2017. Yet last year we tried to move him on to the right side, didn't show as much productivity, so they're going to move him back to the left side of that defense, playing against the left offensive lineman, and then hopefully you will see more production out of him. So a little change there. Foster having a decent OTA, not the greatest OTA, had some good plays, some bad plays. Talent was plain to see as he was running routes crisply and precisely, so that's good to hear. Again, I'm reading this article that we saw on Twitter from Joe Buscalia. So again, if you haven't already followed him on Twitter, you can follow me on Twitter as well. But yeah, again, thank you for joining my Believers Talk. I'm going to get to all of your comments on the right-hand side. So if you have a comment, if you have a question about what's going on with the Buffalo Bills or the Buffalo Sabres, MFF Gaming has joined us. Again, thank you guys for joining me. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. Like this video. We're talking about OTAs. We haven't really talked much about Kyle Rudolph yet. It said his name a couple times, but we'll see what happens there. EJ Gaines showed some versatility. I'll read this right from the paper here. The Bills attempted to create some competition at the depth cornerback by signing both Kevin Johnson and EJ Gaines. Yeah, that's another cornerback I didn't even mention. EJ Gaines has to be listed up there. We had him 2 years ago. Unfortunately, an injury bug got him. Signs with Cleveland Browns. Gets injured through most of last season, and now he's back with the Buffalo Bills. Trent Murphy, again, going to be a rotational player, so that's who switched. So now Trent Murphy is actually going to be starting opposite of Jerry Hughes, and then Eddie Yarborough will come in to rotate with Trent Murphy, and then you'll have Shaq Lawson. At least that's the way OTAs are going. That's not saying it's going to stay that way, but at least for the first week of OTAs, instead of having Shaq Lawson and Jerry Hughes starting at the defensive end position, you have Trent Murphy and Jerry Hughes starting at the defensive end position. And then you have Eddie Yarborough coming in behind Trent Murphy. And then you have Shaq Lawson coming in behind Jerry Hughes as far as depth goes. So I think that's going to add a little more versatility as far as what the Bills can do. Can you imagine Jerry Hughes having to go out for a play, having to go out for 2 plays, or he gets dinged up a little bit during the game? You bring in Shaq Lawson. That's not much of a slight. I know Jerry Hughes is a much better defensive end, but Shaq Lawson can hold his own. So I'm excited about that. Again, EJ Gaines, someone I didn't even mention at the cornerback position when we talk about cornerbacks, but he is adding a little flair to the depth chart and trying to fight Levi Wallace for that cornerback number 2. Again, we know Tre'Davious White is number 1, right? And he's looking to improve his game. People are saying he had a down year last year. I don't agree with that. The numbers might not share that, but I mean, I look at that Houston game when he was up against Johnson, even that touchdown to Johnson. There was not much Tre'Davious White could do there, and he did his best to prevent that from happening. I thought White had a much underrated season. Maybe it wasn't as good as his rookie season, right? But wasn't terrible. It wasn't like he had a bad year. He just wasn't as good as his rookie season. But trying to get back up to that level, trying to get up to that defensive player of the year level that he was at week 1. Another good thing we're finding about OTAs, Matt Milano looks healthy, so that's awesome. Remember last year we talked about his injury towards the end of last season. He did not play the last 2 weeks of the year, and actually made us look a little bad with that run defense. I think it was actually three or 4 weeks of the year he didn't play. Made us look a little bad when it came to that run defense, but he looks as healthy as ever according to reports. So I'm excited about that. I mean, I love Matt Milano. Talk about 5th-round pick 2 seasons ago, a guy who's going to fight for a contract soon. Talk about a guy who only has a 3-year contract, right? So this will be the last year on his contract. So we'll see if he's someone that we want to re-sign. I hope so. I really like the guy. But you look at the linebacker position, we know that we have depth at linebacker as well. So is Matt Milano an unfortunate casualty? We'll see. You talk about Zay Jones. No, I'm sorry. You talk about Tre'Davious White. Trey White, this is his 3rd year. At the end of this year, that's when we have to decide if we're going to keep his 5th-year option, right? Going into your 4th year, we saw it with Deion Dawkins this year. We had to decide this year if we're going to re-sign Deion Dawkins next season. We just chose not to. So next year, we're going to have that same question with Tre'Davious White. If Tre'Davious White slips again, drops off his production, is that someone we want to have the 5th-year option on? Or if he's someone that elevates his game, works hard, and does even better, then we definitely want to look at that 5th-year option. A 5th-year option makes you get a guy for obviously a lot cheaper. You talk about a Trey White type player. You want a cornerback. You can never have enough depth in the defensive backfield. You talk about a guy who can be your number 1 go-to guy for a long time to come. That's not someone you just want to let go. But again, if his production slips this season, is that someone you're willing to say, hey, we want that 5th-year option? Or are you going to play out year 4 and then say, you know what? Kind of like with Deion Dawkins, if you earn it, we'll give you another contract after your 4th year instead of you waiting for that 5th year. So we'll wait and see what happens. I know over in the comment section you're talking about Kruger a little bit, and that's awesome. Again, the Sabres, new head coach, a lot of excitement with the Buffalo Sabres as well. I'm excited about the Buffalo Sabres. Looking forward to what they can do next season. Great thing about hockey is the offseason is a lot shorter than it is for the NFL. So if you're an NFL fan, obviously we still have a long way to go. We're here in May. The season doesn't start till September, but I'll keep you covered through it all, through OTAs, through training camp, through preseason, and then onto the regular season, and then hopefully beyond as the Buffalo Bills look to make the postseason again in 2019. So let me know what you think. Again, leave a comment. If you're watching this after the live feed, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. I'll get back to you as well. If you are new, hit that subscribe button. And again, like this video, helps me out with YouTube. So again, I appreciate it. I am an Amazon affiliate. Down below in the link, I do have a link to a Buffalo Bills card box set from 2018. You're talking about Robert Foster, Sean McCoy, Josh Allen, just to name a few. If you want to go ahead and click on that link, or if you're just shopping for a vacuum cleaner, or if you're a Father's Day gift, or for whatever, click on that link, and then you can start roaming through Amazon that way. Helps out me as well. Leave my comment before you get off. Which one, MFF Gaming? What players should we trade? In my opinion, I think we should trade. Oh, you're talking about the Sabres. I think we should trade. Spoka for sure, and Jacob Trouba. But that's it. That's the only ones I'm 100% sold on. Gustav Nyquist, I feel like we just let him go. I mean, no offense, but I don't even know if someone's going to trade for him. And if no one trades for him, I'm okay with just letting him go. I have heard good things out of Singletary as well. Again, right now he's playing with the twos, and he's getting a lot of playing time just because of the unfortunate injuries of Gore and Yeldon. So I have heard a lot of good things out of camp for Singletary. I look forward to seeing what he can do on the playing field during preseason, during the regular season. Maybe that makes McCoy a little more expendable, and I'm not necessarily saying just trade. I'm also saying possibly injury. Maybe same thing with Frank Gore and T.J. Yeldon. You'll see what happens. Why was your message retracted? You would have had to retract it, but yeah, I talked about the trades there a little bit. I don't know. I like Scandella. I really do. I think he's gotten a bad rap, but he didn't do anything to excite me during the regular season. Let's put it that way. I don't know much about Bogo. I'm sorry. Saboka again. I think that's someone we can trade. Oh, what do you think about that trade? I got you. I got you now. I'm following it along. What about Josh Allen? What about Josh Allen? What about Josh Allen? I mean, if you're a Bills fan, your heart is sold on Josh Allen, right? And I have his stats right here actually. I'm gonna do a video. Like I said, I'm gonna do a video comparing the three second-year quarterbacks that are now in our division. But you look at Josh Allen, and after post-injury, Josh Allen obviously a lot better. And one of the reasons why Bills fans are so hyped on Josh Allen is because look at that last game that he had, right? I don't think it's even questionable. The last game he played against Miami, obviously his best game of the season. You're talking about completing 65% of his passes, 3 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, 224 yards. And that doesn't even include the rushing yards. You want to talk about the rushing yards? Okay, 9 rushes, 95 yards, 2 touchdowns that way as well. So you're talking about 4 touchdowns he accounted for in that last game. The BZ trade reminds me of when we got Skinner last summer. Sorry, I'm not talking Sabres. And MFF Gaming, I will be on here live to talk about the Sabres as the season comes up as well. The Beasley trade, if you're talking about... Hold on. I'll try to figure it out. But how's he looking? Oh, okay. How's Josh Allen looking? I haven't heard much as far as how Josh Allen looks from OTAs, at least not in my notes. 5 TDs. Yeah, three plus 2 is still 5, right? Okay, my bad. 3 plus 2 isn't 4. I tried to trick you guys, see? But 3 plus 2 still equals 5 in most people's mathematical. Did you guys put that in a calculator? You guys have those calculator adding machines nearby. I'm sure that's what it was. But yeah, in my notes, I actually don't have anything on Josh Allen as far as how he's looking. Which again, could be good, could be bad, could be mediocre, Like I said, we have heard Robert Foster is running Chris Sprouts. We have heard that Zay Jones has bulked it up a little bit during the offseason. As long as he doesn't try kicking any windows, we should be okay. But yeah, I am looking forward to this season. I've talked to a lot of people on Twitter who just can't wait for this season to get here. I mean, you're talking about a whole bunch of free agent signings. You're talking about a great draft. You're talking about a good coaching staff. There's still some questions about Brian Dable. I understand that. But if you ask me, there's still some questions surrounding Josh Allen. I mean, again, as a Bills fan, you have to be excited about Josh Allen. But if you remember me during the offseason just over a year ago, before the NFL draft 2018, I actually had Josh Allen ranked as like the 6th or 7th quarterback on my board. I didn't even have him in the top 4. I didn't have him going in the first round. Then, of course, the Bills pick him up. Now everyone's excited. I believe he has the tools to be the best quarterback in that division, best second-year quarterback in that division come next season. But I'll talk about that in a later video as well. I think he has the best tools to probably be up there with Baker Mayfield as far as the best quarterback from this class. But Baker was just in a league of his own last year as far as rookie quarterbacks went. I thought he had a great rookie season. Josh Allen needs to be able to read the field better, right? It seems like last year there was a lot of open passes that he left on the field. I'm not sure. I'm going to look into that this season or this off season about the copyright rules for YouTube. So I know what clips I can show you and what clips I can't and yada, yada, yada. I know I can't show you the live game, But I know I've seen YouTube channels like Cover One and all them who show clips, and I want to know how to do that without breaking any YouTube copyright rules. So I'm gonna look into that. But there were a lot of plays where if you watch someone's open in the flat, he decides to take off, right? Because he's looking one way, doesn't look the other way. He needs to read those intermediate routes a little bit better. Needs to be comfortable throwing a screen pass. Okay, something they didn't do much in Wyoming, so I understand that he's always looking for that home run ball, but he needs to be okay looking for that screen pass, that check down, which he didn't do a great job at last season. That's where I want to see the most improvement. Again, I'm trying to lower my expectations. I look at the schedule, and believe me, I will be doing a prediction show as far as the schedule goes closer to the NFL season. And you look at the schedule, and you look at this team, and you say, hey, this team might be able to make the playoffs. Hey, this team might be able to contend with New England, possibly make it harder for them to win the division. I'm trying to lower my expectations. I'm not going to lie, guys. I said last year, 2020 was the season I was most looking forward to. 2019, I hope to see a lot of improvement, right? I don't want to see us finish 6-10 again. 8-8, 9-7, even if we miss the playoffs at 9-7, I'm okay with that. I'm good with that. But I don't want to see us finish 6-10 again. And then 2020 would be where I'd expect the lid to pop off, right? The lid to pop off, and for us to not only contend for division wins, for us to win the division straight out. No New England, no Tom Brady, forget it. I don't care who's there. I don't care. We should win the division at some point coming up here. He's a beast. Pats are in real trouble. Witchcraft won't help either from Brady's trench. Everyone's talking about Tom Brady and how Ed Oliver is going to help us get after Tom Brady. I don't disagree with that, but you have to remember Tom Brady is really good, and that offense, Josh McDaniels, really good at getting rid of the ball quickly. I know they don't have Gronk anymore. I know. If you watch previous videos, I just did a video talking about who is the best team to contend with the Patriots out of the AFC East. In that video, I said, New England in my mind, New England has a 65% chance to win that division. I think that's might be even lowballing them a little bit. But who out of the other three teams has the best shot? Now, I put the Bills and Jets kind of neck and neck, right? I put the Bills just over the Jets just because of the recent issues with the Jets firing the GM. You have Adam Gase, both GM and head coach. So I put the Bills a little bit ahead of them for that reason. Also, you look at our offensive line. Our offensive lines should be better than the Jets. Our defensive lines are pretty much, I think, about the same. Actually, I think the Jets defense, like I said in the video, is going to be a top 10 defense this season. But you're looking at the number 2 overall defense last year. So we'll see what happens. You stand by what you said. Hold on, David. 5 TDs? Is that what you're talking about? Let me look up. What did you say? Let me look to see if David said anything else. I don't see it. Did you say something else that you're standing by what you said? Oh, message was retracted. You didn't have to retract it. You could leave it there. I promise. I won't be offended, or I won't hurt you if it happens to be true or false or whatever. You don't have to retract it, but that's okay if you did. That's all right. So, guys, again, I just wanted to keep you up to date on OTAs. If you are new, hit that subscribe button, like this video. Again, I appreciate all you guys for joining me. I appreciate all the support. And again, guys, remember, during the regular season, we will be live for play-by-play and reaction of every single Buffalo Bills. Yeah. No, I'm good with that. I still remember when people were throwing dildos on the field with them, and laughed about that. So it's always good to see. Always good to see. He might be a witch. I think it's more Belichick. If I was checking out which one was a witch, which one wasn't, I would check Belichick first. But, we did just see Tom Brady on a treadmill still trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do. He never runs. I don't know why he's even on a treadmill. Just eat a Twinkie once in a while, okay? Forget your avocado ice cream. Just eat a Twinkie. Do us all a favor, okay? But we'll see what happens when the season starts. Again, I'm looking forward to it. Again, we do give you play-by-play, live play-by-play and reaction right here on Believe It Sucks. So if you're watching the game and you want to hang out with a bunch of Bills fans or Bills Mafia, if you will, come hang out with us. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot, David. I appreciate that. I look forward to talking to you all soon. Again, if you're not watching this live, leave a comment. I'll get back to you anyway. I appreciate all your support. And again, hit that link in the Amazon down below in the description. Even if you're just shopping Amazon for a vacuum or for something for your dad for Father's Day, even if it's not what the link is providing, it still helps me out. So I appreciate that. Again, I look forward to talking to you all soon. Until I do, go Bills.